All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on artificial intelligence. And look, instead of getting lost in all the Hollywood hype, we're going to go straight to the source. We're using a university textbook as our guide to build a real solid foundation. We're going to explore what AI actually is, how it works, and, what it really means for all of us. Let's get into it.
But before we even get to the artificial part of intelligence, let me ask you something. What makes you intelligent? Seriously, think about it. Is it when you're solving a tough puzzle, or learning a new language, or maybe it's just recognizing a friend's face in a huge crowd? Just hold that thought, because understanding our own intelligence is the absolute key to figuring out what it is we're trying to build inside a machine.
So, here's our game plan for today. First up, we're going to get our definitions straight. Then, we'll look at the 4 main blueprints, kind of the different recipes for building an AI. From there, we'll uncover all the AI that's already hiding in your daily life, weigh the good against the bad, and finally, we'll take a look at what might be just over the horizon.
All right, let's dive right in. To really get a grip on artificial intelligence, we have to start with that second word, intelligence. What exactly are the core abilities that we're trying to copy and paste into a machine?
Well, according to developmental psychologists, intelligence isn't just one single thing. It's more like a whole toolkit of different abilities. You can break it down into 5 key parts. You've got reasoning for drawing conclusions, learning from experience, problem solving to figure things out, perception to make sense of the world around you, and of course, language to communicate. These 5 pillars are really the foundation of what we call intelligence.
So that brings us right to the main event. Artificial intelligence is basically the quest to build machines that can do all that stuff we just talked about. It's intelligence just demonstrated by a machine, not a person or an animal, and this whole idea got its name way back in 1956 when a computer scientist named John McCarthy basically kicked off this formal journey to see if a machine could ever truly think.
So how do you actually go about building an AI? Well, it turns out there isn't just one instruction manual. The whole field is kind of split into 4 main schools of thought, and each one has a totally different goal in mind.
Okay, this table looks a little academic, but it boils down to 2 really simple questions. First, are you trying to build a machine that thinks like a human with all our quirks and mistakes, or just one that acts like a human on the outside? And the second question is your goal to perfectly mimic a human or to be perfectly rational and logical? And those questions give you these 4 different blueprints, making machines that think humanly, think rationally, or act rationally. Each one is a completely different vision for what AI should be. And if you want the perfect example of that acting humanly approach, you have to look at the famous Turing test. The goal of the test isn't to know if the machine is actually thinking like a person inside its circuits. The only question that matters is this: can a person, just by chatting through text, tell the difference between the machine and another human? If they can't tell them apart, the machine passes. It's all about imitation. Flawless, perfect imitation. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's bring this all down to earth. Because AI isn't some experiment locked away in a lab anymore. It's already woven into your everyday life, a lot of times in ways you probably don't even notice. First, it is absolutely crucial to know the different levels of AI we're talking about. Everything that exists in the world today is what we call narrow AI. This just means it's built for one very specific job, like playing a game of chess or recognizing your voice. The next step up, general AI, a machine that could be as smart and flexible as a human. That's still a really long-term goal. And super AI, a machine that could actually surpass human intelligence, well, that is still purely hypothetical. And this diagram here, it says it all. See that little marker that says "we are here"? That is the single most important thing to remember. Despite all the wild headlines you see, every single AI system on the planet today is a form of narrow AI. They are all specialists, built for one specific job. We are really just at the very beginning of this whole journey.
So where is all this narrow AI? Oh, it's everywhere. That little engine that suggests what you should buy next on an e-commerce site, that's narrow AI. When you ask Siri or Alexa about the weather, that is also narrow AI. The chatbots on websites, the robots that assist in surgery, the systems in self-driving cars, they're all incredibly powerful, but they're also highly specialized examples of AI at work right now.
So we know AI is here, but what does that actually mean for us? Well, like any powerful new technology, it's a real double-edged sword. It has incredible promise and some pretty significant peril. Let's take a look at both sides.
The promise is honestly immense. AI can do things with a level of precision that can dramatically reduce human error, everywhere from a factory to an operating room. It can work 24/7 on those repetitive jobs, which frees us humans up for more creative stuff. It's driving new inventions in medicine, in transportation, you name it. And it can sift through just mountains of data to help us make faster, smarter decisions. But then, of course, you have to flip the coin over. Building and maintaining this stuff is incredibly expensive. Automation brings up very real fears about jobs being displaced, and this is a big one. Today's AI is not creative. It's a fantastic student, it learns from the data we give it, but it can't think outside the box or have a truly original idea. And finally, there's the risk that if we start outsourcing all our thinking to machines, we might just end up making ourselves lazy. And that all brings us to our final question. We've seen what AI is and where it is today. So, what happens next? What does the future actually hold?
First, let's just ground ourselves in reality one more time. The idea of a super AI, a machine that is smarter than the people who made it, is still the stuff of science fiction. It is purely a hypothetical concept, and while lots of people are working hard on general AI, we are still a very, very long way from getting there.
But that doesn't mean we can just sit back and ignore it. As the brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking warned us, the stakes are unbelievably high. Now, his point wasn't to scare everybody. It was to inspire us to be thoughtful. We have to get ahead of this, to build this technology safely and ethically, to make sure it's something that truly benefits all of humanity.
So we end with this final thought. AI is designed to do one thing: learn. It learns from the data we give it, and that data is a reflection of us. It reflects our behaviors, our biases, our greatest achievements, and our deepest flaws. So the ultimate question isn't really just what can AI do? The real question is, what will it learn about us? What kind of mirror will this machine we're building hold up to its creators?